the tournament. Pragnananda, Magnus Carlsen, Alireza Firouzja. I mean, there's actually several players who can now win it, I guess.
It's an open field. It's no longer that two-horse race that we were talking about. And this happened, if we rewind 3 months ago, it happened in the Oslo Esports Cup. Duda ended up winning that tournament, came from nowhere. Magnus and Prag were leading there as well, let it slide. And Magnus, he couldn't get into the room. That's not a good sign.
That's not a good sign.
They locked him out there for a second.
He's been so confident over the last few games, Magnus, and that's the feeling he needs to channel right now. Another must-win situation. The third one today for Magnus Carlsen. Here we go.
Here we go, Queen's Pawn opening, and there has still been this pattern of whoever strikes back in normal time, in the rapid portion, just failing to kind of convert in the playoffs, in the blitz. And okay, Magnus thinking, not sure he knows the game has started. Maybe he's just getting his music ready. Magnus, okay, the game has started. It's a Trompovsky attack. Oh. This is a rare one as well. Magnus has played it a few times from the white side. Simon, I think you've played this before.
I have, yeah. I just done a DVD on this as well. Surprise. And
DVD or Chessable course?
Ginger GM, actually, DVD. So Ginger GM course on this. And it's very interesting opening. It actually has a good pedigree of English players playing it. And this line, one of the critical lines. So.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, some of the top English grandmasters in the 90s, they were playing this a lot, right? White does give up the bishop pair, just like he did in the last game, but Black's pawn structure hasn't been shattered. Black's queen, though, a bit misplaced.
Yeah, I think here that Magnus has picked quite a good line as Black. So he's got the bishop pair. He's gone for a bit of an unbalanced situation. White has the space advantage in the center with the 2 pawns, but long term, Black is doing quite well because of the bishops. And this move is quite rare, this move in the center. It's now, okay, trying to get some solid formation in the middle of the board, which, I don't know, it's going to be hard to win from too much of a solid formation, but just got to grind away, haven't you? Yeah. If you're Black here.
Magnus just needs to survive the opening. He does have the bishop pair long term, so there's something to grind away for. When you try to grind, you need some small strategic long-term advantage. Yeah, he's just trying to erect this kind of solid pawn structure, and he's going to hope that it's going to hold. Meanwhile, Duda fianchettoing his bishop to this diagonal, maybe not kind of the most obvious way to do it. White's bishop will slide behind that pawn, but then it's on a blocked line, so a blocked diagonal. Slightly odd there.
Seems a strange place to put the bishop, doesn't
Definitely.
it? So, yeah.
Wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. I would have expected Duda to play a move like the wing pawn up 2 squares, because he loves pushing Alice the A pawn or Ari the A pawn, and that would be a normal kind of move to play in this kind of structure, gaining space on one of the areas of the board where you don't have space. But okay, getting castled is not a terrible idea, is it, by any means? You've got to move that bishop to get castled.
Duda's light squared bishop won't be as bad as it was in the last game, at least. So.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's the secret. Yeah. Give yourself a bad bishop, make your opponent, think that they should come at you, play aggressively to punish this positional offense, and then win the counterattack.
Yeah. Meanwhile, what's happening with Magnus on the clock? He's paused for 1 minute here. Is there a reason for that? I mean, I guess there's a lot of choice, but 1 minute is a lot in a blitz game. That's 1/5 of his time, and he came up with this knight move, a bit of a mysterious one. And okay, now he's getting developed. So both sides will just castle their kings very shortly. And what next? Okay, there we go. Both kings are safe. It's just maneuvering now. Personally, I would choose Black here, if anyone, just because I have the bishop pair and I love that long term, but White is solid as a rock. That's Duda's strategy, actually, in general. He's maneuvering with his knights, and the center is blocked, so knights are pretty good in the short term.
Yeah. I mean, Duda's playing in a very interesting way. He hasn't really committed his pieces or his pawns, apart from taking the center. And he's simply asking Magnus, how are you going to react? Are you going to trade in the center? Are you going to perhaps... Well, there goes the answer. The center has been opened.
Yeah, and Duda now going on the attack. Pushing this pawn a bit loosening, but it makes a lot of sense.
Seems like they picked up the pace a little bit, and especially Duda. I mean, Magnus is, well, I say he only got 3 minutes, but now he's trying to get his bishops into the game. And look at this, Duda's gone super aggressive. And you did mention before this game, David, this is probably the right approach from Duda. Don't go too passive. Go active in the position. And, well, interesting position. White, is he overextended or not?
Yes, it's tricky to say right now. I love White's knights. They're really well placed, but it could backfire if the position opens up even more and the black bishops get firing. But okay, meanwhile, black's bishop, dark squared bishop, has found a better diagonal. I'm expecting the white queen now to come out. She's got a variety of squares to choose from. Magnus, again, he's solid, but a bit cramped. Black's queen will need to retreat at some point. She's too far ahead. The queens don't want to lead the army. They want to be doing the damage behind later. Duda finds a safe square for his queen.
So is Duda's plan just to pile up on that weak d6 pawn?
Possibly, yeah. Duda will just get his pieces organized and then he'll look for weaknesses. As you mentioned, black's d pawn in the center, a bit weak.
I may even be tempted to move the knight in the center, which looks fantastic, over towards the king side as well. Because I'm looking for outposts for my knights. My knights in the center look really good, and they probably are, but I quite like having a knight around my opponent's king as well. So that's potentially another idea. I would pick white here slightly, I think.
Yeah. Matter of taste, right?
Matter of taste, yeah. But black is very solid, and I guess black's got to wait for the opening to occur. Hope his bishops play an important part when the opening position does occur.
And I like what Duda's doing, nice natural moves. Now the rooks are into the game, and it seems that Magnus is like undeveloping his pieces. He's now put his queen back to the starting square and moved it over far away from her king.
Yeah, and now this maneuver that you mentioned, Simon, White's knights repositioning themselves, going towards that black king that has maybe feeling abandoned right now.
Yeah.
Likewise, Magnus rerouting his knight because his king needs some protection.
That's right. And Magnus does have this weakness, this pawn in front of that knight, which now white is targeting with that knight. And you see a little bit passive here for black at the moment, but very solid. And I think Magnus is just waiting, isn't he, for his opportunity at the moment, keeping solid as he can. But again, white has more space to maneuver, more space is easier. It's easier to play when you have that extra space. So I'm still personally taking white here at the moment.
Yeah, makes sense. And it was interesting, a few moments ago we saw Duda's screen. He was almost pre-moving. He's kind of itching to just make moves. He wants to maintain that time advantage. And looking at the clocks as well, he's got an extra minute. That could be valuable, especially if, as you mentioned, Simon, he gets on the front foot. He's the one attacking. Defending is so hard on a few seconds. So speed-wise, Duda. Space-wise in the position, Duda.
Well, is he thinking here, David, of starting the attack? He could do. It's obviously risky, but you could go for it now by moving Freddie, the pawn in front of the knight, and just go for black's king. Because Ivanka pointed out, he's hovering. Is it time to attack? He likes attacking. Just go for it. Punt it. This is how you take Magnus down. You've got to go aggressive against him.
His mouse is on the F-file. I think he's going to move that knight near the white king forward towards black's king, but like you said, Simon, it's tempting to move the pawn as well.
Did we see a reaction on Magnus's face there?
Yeah, he's not looking happy, right?
No.
Magnus, I don't like his position either. It's just too many pieces on bad squares. Black has the long-term advantage, of course, with the bishop pair, with kind of a more compact pawn structure, but while we're in the middle game, that is not going to play a factor, and a bit of a strange one, putting his bishop on the edge of the board. Magnus frowning as well. This is not an orthodox move because white's bishop actually does a good job of protecting its king usually. He just wants to trade it off. Is he going to trade it off for black's light squared bishop that was sat at home asleep?
I don't like that decision at all. You often want to keep your lights. Yeah, as you said, David, that bishop of black's was sleeping, yeah? Is this his idea to now come in the middle and try to attack?
I think he just wants to force the issue.
Yeah.
And that move would never have crossed my mind, I must admit, Simon. Just spending 2 moves, trading off your opponent's poor piece. But at least he's got rid of the bishop pair. So now long-term, it's not necessarily black who's got the advantage. Maybe he's just trying to take as much risk out of the position as possible.
But now he has to take care because he has to stop that knight from jumping in. And that's why he retreats his knight to the d2 square. And it just feels like black is very solid. And I quite like the long-term prospects if he survives the next few moves.
Yeah, black's solid, but white's solid as well. Duda, I don't know what he's listening to, but he seems to be enjoying it. And still very, very fast on the clock. Magnus just struggling for a plan. The black queen needs to improve. She's not great right now. The nature of the position is different now. At least it's blocked temporarily.
I guess white still has his pawn break that might be annoying Magnus. I mean, this again, it's just the pawn in front of the white knight. If that goes forwards, you open up lines towards black's king. So you have to constantly be... So that's why Magnus is guarded against that move. But he's only got 1 minute and 10 seconds now, and he needs to win this game to get to an Armageddon.
It's not going to be easy for Magnus.
Not easy at all.
It feels like Duda, even after losing those last 2 rapid games, he's adapted to the blitz format a bit quicker. Magnus was taking risks in the first blitz game where he didn't have time with which to do so.
I was going to ask about this move, is it so tempting to actually chase away that knight? And then the whole idea, it has a concrete reason, because otherwise you don't really want to be making this type of move, is to put the knight on the e4 square and hop in.
We'll see that happen in a moment. Utilising the fact that black's queen is actually a bit uncomfortable. If you look at the black queen, on the same line at the bottom is the white rook, and that's why Jovanka's tactic is going to work. But it's not too scary. This can be dealt with. You don't capture that knight, because then the black queen would drop on the d-file. You just need to protect the squares that the white knight wants to jump into. And I think you can do that just with your bishop. There we go. Where is this knight going? You've committed a lot now for Duda. You've pressed all of white's pawns forward, and that means there's a lot of responsibility. Some of those pawns might be weaknesses. Black's knight, which is terrible, is actually staring at a pawn that's hard to defend. So suddenly it's really urgent. The pressure's on.
Yeah, indeed. And you got some weaknesses now for white on the queen side, right? This pawn on the queen side, it's a little bit overextended. Black's got some good central pawns. So Duda is now using his time. Magnus 38 seconds and Duda 1 minute 40, something like this. But he's got a key moment here of how he continues, right? Because it could be overextended, those pieces.
Getting sharp. I think he has to play an accurate move. I mean, something that occurred to me was maybe just move the queen to b2, just to get it ready to perhaps do something on the dark squares.
I mean, if Duda doesn't find something energetic now, his position will crumble. So he's spending time at the right moment, but suddenly the time advantage has disappeared. It's just going to become very random.
I think you got this move. Yeah, I think you got to go for it. This creates some threats. The pawn. Okay, you have to give up a pawn. So Duda, in a position where he only needs a draw, is sacrificing. I'm amazed he put the queen there though. Why didn't he keep the queen lined up against the king side? I don't know, but okay.
Oh, and look at the bar, you guys, saying Magnus could win this game.
He's just a pawn up, simply.
Armageddon.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
But if white doesn't find any attack, white is just a pawn down, and strategically white is busted. Black's pawns in the center of the board, the C and D pawns, are just passed. They're just going to roll down. And there we go. Magnus is mobilizing those pawns.
Yeah.
I think he has to admit that he's made a mistake with his queen. And
yeah, his queen's totally on the wrong square. It hasn't got a way through to black's king side.
White's queen is blocked.
If it was on a light square, you could at least threaten to open up the position. But even then, black can defend. And at the moment, I can't see how Duda's going to get through here. There is that short of time, though, that Magnus has in the position that could play a part.
Duda's lower on the clock now, though.
Is it? Yeah, wow.
30
okay.
seconds.
Yeah.
And the problem is black's dark square bishop covers the dark squares, black's pawns cover the light squares, so Duda has no way through. And again, it's that superfluous knights that we talked about, the useless knights. The white knights actually get in each other's way. They both want to be on different circuits, but they're stuck on the same circuit. And okay, Duda's reduced to just kind of waiting moves with the white rook. And black's queen blockades. I love this move, just blockades any pawn pushes that he wanted. You wanted to push the white pawns forward earlier, Simon. I think Duda's missed his opportunity.
He has, yeah.
Duda now, well, he went down to 12 seconds.
He's
no
trying.
time.
It gets blocked. Big threat on the board. White's knight actually wants to go to the edge and give a check to the black king. But this can be easily prevented. Black's king needs to move. You don't want to, or the queen needs to move. You don't want to allow that white knight that's advanced into black's camp to deliver any checks. And there we go. Now no more checks. The king dominates that white knight.
Yeah.
So difficult to find a move for Duda. Maybe he has to just, it's kind of lost. Maybe he just needs to sacrifice some material.
I think he's getting ready to put something next to the queen here, maybe a rook, and just put the rook up. Throw the rook all the way up, give it up,
But look at those two black pawns. They're rolling.
Okay, but now there's a big threat on the board.
The queen is ready
the queen
to
is
come
going to come in to h6, but this is why Magnus just goes, nope.
It's chaos, and Duda has only got a few seconds on this clock. Magnus at 20 seconds. Is that black king going to survive? Magnus is just actually trying to give away material in order to secure his king, because he knows the two black pawns are going to
Look at the bar. Bang, got it first. Yeah.
Wild, it's crazy stuff here.
It's just very random, and that happens when it's this chaotic, when there's attacks for both sides, and you only have a few seconds on the clock. It increases the variability, you lose your odds, and okay, Magnus is trying to bully Duda now with a queen trade. Duda has to avoid that queen exchange.
No, he's taken it.
He's taking it?
He's taken it to grab the rook. But you know, how can he handle those two pawns that are going to propel themselves forward?
I think we're getting Armageddon.
Seconds.
We're going to get Armageddon.
Those two black pawns are so scary. And we saw Duda there. He was kind of nervously kind of moving the mouse back and forth, like half pre-moving, half kind of not committing to his moves. But look at these two black pawns. This one is so close to promotion, and it will cost White his knight at some point. That White knight's getting kicked away. Look at Duda leaning back. He knows he's in trouble. The pawns are rolling.
The bar's going all over the shop at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, this is blitz chess through and through, anything possible. And at the moment, White hanging on, and he's dropped a bishop.
Dropped his bishop. He
A
put it on
blunder.
a loose square. He just left his bishop en prise. A free piece for Duda. And this one is going to be decided. Magnus blundering again. Duda takes it. He holds his nerve.
A handshake. It's over. Jan Christoph Duda wins the match. Actually, a smile on Magnus Carlsen's face. He's blundered a little bit today, the world champion, and he loses the match. But he does get 1 point for losing in the blitz tie breaks. It's a massive win for Jan Christoph Duda. He won 2 rapid games and the blitz tie breaks. Let's go to Miami.
How do you stay calm through that ending?
I was anything but calm. There was pure furiousness in my veins, and I was like totally blind, just going, directly to checkmate.
Do you feel like this is why you play chess, this kind of drama at the end of the games?
No, I mean, I was extremely pissed off with, of course, by spoiling the edge in the match, but also in this fourth game, because I thought that basically I saved it. And after that, I was not playing very good chess, but I said just pure emotions.
Congratulations on the tiebreak, Jan Christoph.
Thank you.
Magnus, it was quite entertaining, that I will say, but not the result you were looking for.
Oh, this was... this was so pathetically poor that, it's hard to find words, really. I mean, I just couldn't think. But, it's okay. At least I gained a point. Didn't look that way halfway, but no, this was just a horrible day of chess. I have no idea what went wrong, really. Then, of course, he keeps his nerves a little bit better than I did at the end, so credit him for that. It was just awful.
But you still managed to find complications with black when you need to win, and you've shown that you can do that time and time again now.
No, I was just making moves. I was pretty much just putting my pieces on random squares. What can I say? It was terrible.
Thank you, Magnus. We look forward to tomorrow.
Thank you.
Magnus Carlsen just putting pieces on random squares. He seems a little frustrated, and there was a big blunder in that final blitz game, David.
Yeah, there was a big blunder, and a whole mess of moves, as Magnus said. It was around here that he did lose the thread. White here is doing actually quite well. White has held from a very difficult position, also attacking this black bishop. Magnus here decided to attack this white knight, the only guardian of his passed pawn. Very sensible. The white knight stepped back, and after black threatened to push his pawn further, white decided, okay, it's time to hold this pawn, attack it, and Magnus thought, okay, I need to defend this pawn. He brought his bishop to defend both of his pawns, but he had forgotten that the bishop is simply attacked by this white rook. The bishop falls for free, and there was no way to put up any further resistance. If he hadn't played that bishop move, still some chances, but I think by then Duda had things under control.
So after a long, dramatic day for Magnus Carlsen, he loses the the match against Jan-Christoph Duda. The big guns have been losing today. It's been a strange and entertaining day of chess. Jan-Christoph Duda, he started out winning the first 2 rapid games. It looked like he would clinch the match after only 3 games, but Magnus Carlsen came back. 2 must-win situations. He won them both to take it to tie breaks, but Duda, he won eventually both Blitz games to take 2 points, 1 point for Magnus Carlsen for losing in the Blitz tiebreak. So he is now, for the first time in the tournament, in sole lead. Magnus Carlsen, 13 points. Praggnanandhaa, he lost in the rapid portion today to Liam Le. So he is 1 point now behind Magnus Carlsen with 2 rounds to play. And we even have Alireza Firouzja, who won his match in the rapid portion today. He is now 1 point behind Pragg and 2 points behind Magnus Carlsen. Anish Giri now up on 7 points. 2 very good matches for him now. In bottom of the table, though, still, it is Hans Niemann with 0 points. He was very frustrated after losing his match, but eventually Sverre was able to get an interview with Hans.
Hans, do you feel like you once again fall on the wrong side of technical trouble today?
No, it's my fault, yeah. You could even argue based on the position I got that it helped me, so I'm the only one responsible for the loss, and it happens.
You have still 2 days left to play here. Do you feel like you have a lot of chess to show, or are you just frustrated right now?
Well, I should show that I can win a match. That's what I should be able to show, because I've shown that I can't do that. So I should try and do that.
Do you feel it's in your repertoire this week as well? We know it is from the past because you've proved yourself many times. But do you think you'll be able to play to your capacity in the last 2 days?
Over 4 games, probably not, but I still have some hope. But it's like, how can I have any? The hope is being taken away, but there's still a little bit because even in this match, after losing this first game, I again was not very happy. But then I almost I should have won this game. And it just seems that at some critical moments, single thing is going wrong. But I felt like in general, my chess hasn't been like that bad. It's just that if you look back at a few defining moments like this, I could recite them, but things didn't go my way, and then that just set off a cascade effect.
How difficult, can you try to explain to those who do not get to play chess on the top level how difficult it is to reset psychologically after not playing up to your standard?
No, but winning is the reset. Anyone who tells you that there's a secret to getting over a loss that isn't winning is simply lying. The only way to get over a loss and reset is by winning. It's not going to a room and singing Kumbaya and pretending that everything's okay. It's going to the next game and winning the game. So I haven't done that. So of course I'm not going to recover, because it's not like I should go for a walk and do some yoga to relax. It's like, no, the solution is to win, and I haven't done that yet. So.
We look forward to seeing you play tomorrow, Hans, and we thank you for actually taking the time to do these interviews when we know that you are frustrated with your own play.
No, thank you.
Maybe that is exactly what he should do. Go for a walk and do some yoga. Hans Niemann, he is an entertaining chess player. And let's take a look at the matchups coming up tomorrow. Can he get his first match win? Hans Niemann, he's going to face his fellow American, Levon Aronian. Alireza Firouzja against Magnus Carlsen, a huge one. Firouzja now only 2 points behind Magnus Carlsen on the standings. Praggnanandhaa losing today, and tomorrow he faces Jan-Christoph Duda, who today won his match against the world number 1, Anish Giri. He is up against Liam Le. But Simon, Firouzja, Carlsen, that must be the big one tomorrow.
Kumbaya. Oh, yeah. That's going to be great, isn't it? I mean, these two of the best blitz players in the world. They play so often online, and they're both playing, well, okay, Magnus was not on form today, but Firouzja is playing great chess. So what a match that's going to be tomorrow. Brilliant.
And if Firouzja wins it, David, it could be on top of the table with 1 round to go. Who's the favorite in this one?
I've given up. I mean, those 3 guys, it's between them now who can hold their nerve. Firouzja's got the momentum behind him, we've got to say. He played pretty well today. The other 2 struggled, Magnus and Prag. I just want to see tie breaks somehow. I want this to be decided on the board when both players are at the peak of their tension, and whoever wins will deserve it at the end of the day.
Battle of generations, Jovanka. Magnus Carlsen, on the 2 last days, he faces the 2 teenagers, and they can both overtake him on the standings and win the tournament.
I know, this is the real test of Magnus. You know, he'll be very keen to kind of just swat their attempts away. But we'll see. You know, today we saw the world champion wobble. We also saw the same from Praggnanandhaa. And Firouzja, as Simon mentioned, just keeps getting better and better. So it's game on.
It's game on. What a weekend it's going to be, you guys. Before we say goodbye tonight, we have to announce the Twitter winner. You guys have been so creative and giving us so many funny pictures.
I know. You guys have been absolutely fantastic, but there has to be one winner of Simon's Hippo course on Chessable, and the winner is Joseph Martin.
Of course.
Who said, one time I saw riding a hippo. Looked very familiar. And you can see I'm still laughing about it today. So congratulations, Joseph. Enjoy your hippo course.
Yeah. You approve, Simon?
Yeah, it's brilliant. I mean, like you said, there've been so many brilliant tweets today, and that one put a smile on all our faces. So deserved winner, I think. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Thank you to everyone for all the entertainment you have given us today, and thank you to the players in Miami for giving us so much drama and entertainment. It's continuing tomorrow, the weekend in Miami, with spectators on site in the arena. Looking forward to it. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.